description and a good starting point, I guess. So I do this for several years already, but I help clients to refine their BIM requirements. And I have the feeling at the moment we start the second phase. So the first phase was very enthusiastic. We start with BIM, we do our pilot projects, we write our thick requirements book, and um, yeah, we're all written by these BIM specialists with this urge to transmit their knowledge and show the market how the things should be done. And yeah, companies, organizations started to do that. And when we received the data, and actually we didn't know what to do with it. Yeah, we can look at the models. Yeah, coordination was better, but really a handover in facility management was not possible because maybe the values were not right or the process was not defined. And now I feel like some client organizations start to move on to the second step and we say, okay, instead of trying to educate the market, uh, let's focus on our own needs. So what do we do with our requirements? What are our needs? What is the data quality we need to do X? And let me tell you, this is a very painful exercise because it means changing how you work, thinking about how you do things. A lot of people don't know how to do it, and then describing it in a way that is understandable and yeah, can be tested. So I like to talk about test-driven development. I think you mentioned it in the intro. So basically, write the test first, write the EDS first, and when you can do that, you know what you can describe the requirement.
I have to jump in and add something to this
Yes, sure.
because you said, like, actually, what you are mentioning, I did in September 19, 2023 at Building Smart conference in Norway.
Okay.
I did exactly that with bonsai and
Hmm.
ideas. Ideas was fresh, still fresh. Like Dion Molt has the same idea, so it's very, very interesting. This is very, very cool. It's a very nice concept because unfortunately, most of the time we start to do and deliver things that there were not very clear specified.
Yes, and we think, yeah, it's somehow like that and it's gonna work, but the moment you have to really write it down, so when the computer understands it, it forces you to be very clear. And I mean, this is nothing we invented. It's a common practice in software development to start like that. And I mean, you can look at the BIM model like a software project in some way. Yeah, and having said all this, so starting with the workflow from the client, now the big issue or the big work is to really document this. What do you need? And I mean, there are market tools on the market, and with one client, we looked at all these different tools. And we started out with Excel, like everybody else does. And when we had a client didn't like the how the licensing model was working or how it was focused on just the execution phase. And so we came up with a system and refined it over the last 4 or 5 years. And this is what I'm going to share today with you. So let me share my screen for a moment. So, and a few clients in Switzerland now use this. this system, this concept, and actually it's a completely open source solution. So you can find the code here on GitHub, Pragmatic BIM Requirements Manager, I called it. So I tried to document it as good as possible. Uh, if you something is missing, just reach out to me. I'm happy to support and help. Um, and the idea is this, to provide a sorry, a very simple admin area where you can collect the requirements. So I started out with Airtable to use it, and now we have a client. We do it in how is it? Google Sheets. So and I'll show you on Google Sheets. So the logic is quite simple. First, we start out, what do you want to do with your model or with your BIM data? So here it's written reinforcement steel, for example, or um, getting all the room spaces, the square meters of the spaces, whatever. Just very basic workflows. So, and I like to talk about workflows and not use cases like building smart does, because use case it's such a big thing. Here we are really talking about very tiny things where you don't need a lot of thing from the model. And for example, this is an engineering company. We are working together. And the idea is in the next 2 years, every month, one use case or one of these workflows. So after 2 years, you have 24 defined workflows. And once you have it defined it, you can improve on it, you can teach it, and we hope to really change the culture of the company so that everybody who is doing reinforcement steel models is doing it the same way.
Yeah. Like, let me say that I commend your client because for onboarding in this long journey, as you mentioned, because it's not something that's going to happen even in 1 month or a few weeks, something that's going to happen in the next months, many months, right? So
Yes.
this is very important. Uh, and There are also some situations, I think we are lucky in Norway because we have a framework already. Like, let's talk about reinforcement because reinforcement is at the core of all the concrete structures and everything,
Mhm.
right? So it's quite well developed when it comes to this. So it's a kind of it's not standardized like officially, but it's like
Mhm.
I think it's empowered or Building Smart, it's involved in this as well. So
Mhm.
there is some guidance. If you want to follow, it's up to you or not, but most of the actors are using it. So
Mhm.
this is very, very cool actually to start with this with like with the basics and with the things that really matter and then build on top of that.
Yes. And actually, you shared it recently, the document, and
Yeah,
it looks really good. It
yeah, yeah.
and you can easily transform it for other countries. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like everything, everything what is
mm.
being done in Norway or Switzerland for that matter, it can be imported everywhere and improved. No way, of course, right?
Yeah, but I think actually it's really important to break it down in simple steps.
Yeah.
And so I always try to tell my clients, yeah, defining the requirements for something like this, it should be one workshop and you should have it. So don't make a huge project out of it. Better have very small ones, but a few of them, than one big one you can't manage anymore. So it's this theory of tiny steps and they add up.
Yeah. Sorry, I was trying to read. I was trying to read the question,
Yeah, sure.
um, but I'm not sure. So for the BIM process, need to write the IDS requirements, including the data structure requirements. It's a
Yes,
bit
and
confusing.
actually, I will get to this.
Okay.
So bear with me, and
Okay.
if, if I don't answer the question, ask again, please.
Yeah. All right.
So the next thing we say is, yeah, you need a container for it, a model, like a reinforcement steel model or
Mm.
uh, yeah, a street model, whatever. Then you have elements you will have in this model. And an element is, for me, something more than just a IFC entity. Basically, for the people who know the IDS, that's the applicability. So the exterior space has other attributes than an interior space. So we need to define an applicability that separates between exterior and interior space.
Uh-huh.
Or a void space doesn't have a floor material. So, but if you check every IFC space, does it have a attribute floor material? You will get mistakes.
Yeah.
So this is the idea of the element. So number one and number two, uh, I mean, I'm talking about clients who do a lot of projects every year, and they want to, yeah, get always the same data. And for example, a space, you can model a space from top of the finished floor to the bottom of the false ceiling or the slab.
Yeah.
And it will have an impact of the on the volume you get, on the height you get, on the all the workflows that are connected to it. So somehow we need to define the modeling guidelines. How do you model something? This is all here in the elements. And I will show you later. We do it with pictures, description, and everything. So, and the last part is which attributes are connected to it. So we say, okay, we have a project. A project has a name. A project has a face. And here we use these allowed values. So this is a standard in Switzerland. Yeah, and we say in which phase do we want it, and which models do we or do have this attribute. And of course, we can link it to the workflow as well. And that's it. That's the admin view, basically. So with this, um, now we do, let me switch to Miro. This is where we collaborate, and then what you have on GitHub are different exports from it. So, for example, you have a web page where you can view the things and can manage the things. Um, we create the IDS from it. So IDS uh, per model per phase. Um, one of our clients works with a platform that is called Libal. It's CDE, and we create a config file just for this CDE, and so on and on and on. Now, next thing will be a Kobe template we will create from it. So basically, the idea is just having once defined everything in one place and then do many different views on it. Or what's very important for our clients is a Excel sheet for a contract where you can put the contract or attach to the contract and say these are the deliverables we want. And now, so this is now the page of one of the clients. Because we are in Switzerland, we have three languages we have to manage. Um, when you go on unfoldering, it looks like this. You have the architectural model, a little bit blah blah description. Um, and now these are the applicability, basically. So the site, the parameter, and these are the attributes. This is doesn't look nice because there are so many. How do we deal with the reference point? I think you did a webinar recently about it. Very important topic, the space, and so on and so on. At the same time, you can download the Excel file for the contract.
But Simon, this
Yes.
platform is like it's only in GitHub for somebody to run to download it and to run it locally on a local server, or they can do use online the platform. Like what is?
Okay. No, where are different options. So option number one is you can run it, of course, locally. Option two is you set up your own server. It's actually described in GitHub
Aha,
how to
okay,
do it. Or you can contact me and we host it for you.
okay,
And
that's great.
mm, yeah, and the idea is really, I mean, we don't really earn money with this. It's just, yeah, more convenient to have something structured
Mm-hmm.
and not everybody inventing a new Excel sheet.
No. Have you considered BSDD? Could BSDD help to any degree with this endeavor?
Yes, to a certain degree. What I'm missing with BSDD is this applicability and the modeling aspect.
Ah, okay.
So, yeah, for example, here is the space. And um, here we really describe how do you have to model the space.
Ah, so you like this is actually quite unique, I guess, because
Mm,
many clients are not giving any instruction on how things should be modeled.
yes. And
So actually,
if
this
I
is
miss
yeah,
out, we will get bullshit data through it. So let's say I have in my facility management room height. What is the room height? Is it to the false ceiling, to the
yeah,
slab? So, and if I want to manage it in my day, or if I need it for my
yeah,
workflows, I have to define it.
yeah. And if you do
Otherwise,
that, it's going to be easy to follow by the who has to deliver it, right? Because they
yes,
know what you mean. There
yes,
will be
exactly.
no confusion about that.
And actually, we hope that at one point this will be a standard, like where standards how to draw a plan. But we're not here yet. Still in
Baby steps.
Wild West mode. Yeah, and
The
yeah,
open pirate say.
yes, exactly. That's why I'm active. And this is actually something I think is very useful. It's this admin area, so only the client has access to. So it's the staging area. So you see all the different projects, which workflows did we choose in this project? What does it mean? How many attributes do we ask for? Many elements do we ask for? And the concept is always now, most of the time, twice a year, the client is publishing a master release. So this is the template. And from this template, the client starts a project version. So let's do this. I could just call it test. Uh,
This still works when you have it locally, when you host locally.
yeah, yes, yes. Of course, you
So
can.
locally, can you like host in Docker or something like that, or?
Yes, you can create a Docker from it. You can start it with VS Code.
Ah, okay.
So you need a little bit of uh, programming know-how. But
Yeah,
I'm happy to support, and with ChatGPT, it's
yeah, it's quite possible to do quite a lot of things. Yeah,
yes,
true.
exactly. So what he's doing now is he's copying the master template to a
Hmm.
new folder and creates a project with
Uh-huh.
this name and this number. And now I can pick which workflows do we need in this project? Because it's a very small project, it's a huge project. Maybe it's not, maybe we don't need everything.
Yeah.
Okay, we only need uh, rooms and volume. And then, whoop, you you create this project, and you can share in your contract uh, link to this web page, to this version, um, and now in the background it creates the IDS files exactly for these use cases, what you selected, and so on and so on.
Hmm.
So it's really the idea is having the data once and then reusing it for many different. So
Makes sense.
yeah, exactly here. That's it, I guess. What we created now. How did we call it? Test.
Test.
Yeah. Okay, I'm on the test platform, so there are many different tests.
Yeah. Maybe it's
But
that
I
one.
guess you get the idea.
Hmm.
So, and yeah, I think let me share one more thing. That's the Excel file, for example, what we use as a for the contracts.
Uh-huh.
So created from the same data. We say, okay, in which model are we? These are the sheets in the Excel. Which elements need to be modeled? Uh, short description, IFC entity, which pset, the attribute description, attribute name, um, yeah, what are the allowed values? It's just another view on the data and in which phase
Hmm.
should it be delivered. And this can be printed out and signed in the contract. So I think from a client point of view, there are many different things you have to think about. So the IDS is good for checking, but just giving the IDS and say, yeah, or tell the engineer you have to deliver it like that,
Without
it's not enough.
But we have that metadata, right? So first and foremost, um, each IDS could also be seen like a text document. Like there are some
Yes.
tools that are showing you that, and I think we still have a way to go to use these descriptions and stuff that we can do
Mm.
in IDS as well, right? I think we can maybe do a bit more with that as well, but definitely probably some limitations.
Yes, and IDS is very focused on metadata at the moment.
Yeah.
So the whole geometric level you can't check yet.
No, no. Yet you say yet is like you know something that is going to support at some point, or did you hear
I
any?
don't know it. I
No.
hope. I
Yeah.
hope so. Because I think it's really necessary. If you want to have a good data quality, you need to control the geometry as well.
Mm. Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
And yeah, the funny thing is now we have some engineering companies as well as a client. And for them, way, way, yeah, the logic is a different one. They say, yeah, we get clients and they ask us, yeah, can you do BIM? We want to do a pilot project. And then They say, yeah, of course we can do BIM. Look, that's how we work. So we turn it around, and when the client has to say, yeah, okay, I want it differently. But most clients are not able to do that.
Yeah, but they have to get involved. That's the thing, because you cannot get these details. You can get only from people that are going to work with FM. That's the problem, right? The
Mm.
consultants don't know what exactly how the guys in FM are going to use the models, and that's why you need their input to create these
Yes,
things. It's
yes.
it sounds logical, but not many are doing that. Yeah.
Mm.
I have a
No.
question
Yeah, sure.
from Dumitru Minchu here. Would you say that for other than structure, Kobe is the validation standard?
Mm. Yeah, so I like Kobe. It's a very down to earth and simple to use data schema. And with two clients now, we use Kobe for data handover from the construction company to the client. So basically what we are working now on is we have the data requirements in this database that I showed you before. And when we create Kobe sheets for different elements, like the water heater. And for the water heater, we want to have these attributes. That's defined in the database, and we create the Kobe sheet template for it already. And some data comes from the a planner, but some data comes from the construction company. So basically, the client gets two Kobe sheets or one IFC model and one Kobe sheet, and in his database, he is just combining it.
Mhm, mhm.
So, so I think it's a quite good way to go because expecting everybody to put everything in the model, it's difficult.
Not really realistic either, and it doesn't like I I I I try to keep my mouth. But
No,
let's say in
but
in my experience, I've seen many projects where you see a lot of data that is never going to be used,
yes,
irrelevant data, and
yes.
that's just taking so much time for the consultants to build many hours on.
Yeah,
And the client, yeah, doesn't really know, and yeah, it doesn't bring the value. So it's good to have the value in mind, and but you as a client, you have to take the responsibility and get your skin in the game, not just delegate wholly the responsibility and expect for the best outcome for you to happen. Because of
no,
course that's not going to happen. You
yeah,
don't involve key personally in that.
no external person can tell the client how to do it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So you have to work together with the specialists, and sometimes we have to think about how we will work in the future because there are new opportunities, new possibilities here.
Yeah. More
Mm.
questions are coming. Is this the BEP, the BIM execution plan? Like this is not
Mm.
the BEP, but is part of it. The practical part, the details that they have to be in the model. So yeah,
Yes,
it can
I
be like
think
a part of it.
it's a part of it, and I'm a fan of very slim BIM
BIM
execution
exec, yeah,
plans.
same here. Yeah.
So maximum 10 pages, and a lot of the content can be replaced by this very structured data.
Mhm. Yeah, and just refer to other documents. Like for
Yes,
example, if you have a thing like this with the requirements for your objects, then you don't have to have it maybe included in the BEP because it might become too technical and too large. Then you can just
that,
reference to it. Hey, for the
yes,
information you have to add in all your models, all objects, just check out this document, which is
yes,
attached, right?
yes.
I get that. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah,
Uh,
and I mean, I'm a little bit older already. I have some white hair, so I did projects before BIM, and where we had this concept of project handbook. So
yeah, yeah, yeah.
thick books like that,
They are still
It took a
around.
lot of time to write them,
They
and
are still
nobody read
around.
them. Yeah, and it's a little bit similar with the BIM execution plan, I think.
Mm. Yeah, yeah, we definitely have to learn to make them more practical, more usable. But yeah,
Mm.
because in the end, as I say, like, yeah, this the information that is there, like this is going to be the most of maybe one of the most used things because that's checked all the time, right? The other is just like filler. Like, yeah, you want to know who is involved in the project and stuff like that, but yeah,
Mm.
like
Yeah,
the real thing that matters.
and the very nice thing when you do it like that, and when you create the IDS and a working IDS, you have testable data, or you can test your models, and it's red or green. So
Exactly.
you fulfill it or you don't.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Like 1.5 year, I cannot believe, and I still struggle. I still struggle to convince more people to see the value in this. It's crazy. And like for me, it just clicked. One first time when I run an IDS and I saw those, I saw that ring,
Mhm.
red. I saw like I saw the Holy Grail. Even I knew there were mistakes. It was not working and stuff like that. But what? In few seconds, I can know if I have everything or not in my model. That's
Mhm.
amazing. So that's
Yes.
I'm still it's an amazing tool that doesn't require a lot of time to understand how it works, and you can keep it very, very simple.
Yeah, and you can exchange it. So you don't have to force everybody to work with Solibri or
Yeah,
something else.
yeah,
I think
exactly.
that's the beauty of it. And that's makes it very interesting for clients,
Yeah.
especially public clients.
I see that Mohammed is asking me for if I can share the link. The link to what? I'm not sure what you mean. Like, did we say
I can
maybe to
share the
your
link
to your platform?
to
Maybe to your
to
platform.
the GitHub, for example.
Yeah, yeah. Do you have LinkedIn close the chat of this live stream?
No, but I think I can open it.
Yeah. And until then, let me ask you something else. Boris is also asking if it's possible to link the drawing requirements with the SIA standards in Switzerland.
Um,
Do you have LinkedIn close the chat of this live stream?
yes, no, but I think I can open it.
You have to mute that page.
Yes, I realized.
It's okay.
I closed it. I I posted the link and closed it very quickly.
You posted in the chat here? I
Yes,
think
yes.
it takes few seconds to get because I
Mm,
don't see it yet.
mm.
What do you think about this? What Boris
No,
asked? Is this something it's private or
uh, no, I am not sure if I do understand the
so
question.
the link to drowning requirements? I think he means
A
drawing requirements
drawing.
with the SIA
Uh,
standards in
it,
Switzerland.
yes, you can link it actually.
No,
And
no, but if you okay. Yeah, he doesn't request for a link. I thought that he requested a link.
okay.
No, he's asking if you can link this to the drawing
Mm,
requirements.
mhm. No, for example, in the SER, there are some definitions of colors for different trades.
Yeah.
And with one client, we had a discussion. Yeah, shall we tell in the requirements that a trade has to have a certain color? And when we said, no, it doesn't make any sense to ask for this. This is something you can very easily do in post-processing.
Hmm.
And actually, this is a good point. Um, what we always try to do is to ask for very few things and then just do some automations.
Uh-huh. Yeah, that's smart. That's smart.
Mm.
Something that just came to my mind right now. I remember your spreadsheet, your Google sheet, and I remember you had you used actually IFC schema definitions. You did not try
Yes.
to give your own custom names
No,
that
no, we
only
try
your
to be
company will
very
understand. Now the
sim.
question, yeah. So how far do you try to use IFC schema, and where do you break the barrier? When do you go to custom presets?
Yes. So we say when we don't find anything in the schema, we go to a custom preset.
Strong.
And
Like,
yeah, and we try to avoid at the moment types, sys systems we use, but types we don't,
why?
classifications we don't.
Why types? Ignore them.
Why types? Because every trade has a different view on the type.
Yeah.
Very hard to define it in a way that is generally acceptable for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
So we say, okay, yeah, please work with types as it makes sense for you,
Mm-hmm.
but we don't, we as a client don't
Don't
want to
care about
define
that.
it. Yes, exactly.
Okay. Yeah, might make sense. So although like I know the true value of types, it's there, but it might be, I'm thinking that when you model in Bonsai,
Mhm.
it's going to be very helpful if you use types from the get-go. But not many people are
Yeah,
doing that,
definitely.
right? So
Yeah.
when you put it like that, when you think just to types as metadata, just as information, but not as how types are meant to work, like to
Mm.
support geometry and everything, because yeah, then I understand. But when you model, I've seen, I'm not modeling, but just seeing other guys, it's a huge value in using types as like for that for modeling purpose, because then yeah, otherwise your
Yeah,
models are going
definitely.
to be large and so on. But I
But
understand what you say. Yeah, because it
and
means like it's even you create even more friction with that.
yes, and you really interfere in the way how companies are working.
Uh-huh.
Because I mean, when I'm an architect, and for every client, I have to change my template, and I have to change how I work internally. I'm, it's crazy. I
Yeah.
want to have my standard when I export it, and the closer the export is to the IFC standard, the easier it becomes.
Yeah.
And and when the transformation of the data can happen in the background on the client side.
Makes sense. Makes sense. Guys, if you have any questions, please feel free to ask them because we are wrapping up soon. I don't see any link from you. I don't know
Okay.
where you posted.
Oh, let me go on
You
LinkedIn
send
again.
me a link, a message.
Uh, no, I think I did post it directly in the, but
Yeah.
let I share it with you in the chat.
Share it with me. Let me post it myself if you send me a
Yeah.
message. But yeah, guys, if you have any other questions, just let us know now. Otherwise, yeah, like where can people reach out to you, Simon? How they can find you?
The easiest thing is LinkedIn. So connect to me, write me a message. Actually, I answer quicker on LinkedIn than on my emails.
I know. Same.
Yes,
Same.
you know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's a great place to
so
connect.
may I ask a question to the audience? What
Of
do you
course.
think? Does it make sense, what we discussed here?
I hope so. I hope so, but it might be like what we also discussed. It might be also a bit advanced for many people, many or for people who did not work too much with requirements or with
Mm,
IFC, right? So yes, that's the reason why we try to simplify these things to be easier to start, right? Because like how people are learning how to create BIM execution plans based on not on IFC schema, but
mm.
actually to deliver IFC projects, it's quite crazy, right? Like they have some internal standards, how they map the information and so on, and they start with everything like based on that. And yeah, go and spit everything in a custom preset. Don't use
Mm.
the IFC schema at all.
Yes, and I mean it's a valid strategy.
It could work that as well, but it's not the best thing, best use of IFC schema. And
Exactly, and it doesn't scale.
you miss, yeah, you miss a lot of things that you can do down the road with that with those
Mm.
models, automations and stuff like that.
Yes, exactly.
Mm. Dimitri is asking, how do you treat drawings? He's spanking them.
Um, no, I like drawings, to be honest. I think drawing still has a value,
Some value.
some value in times of BIM. It's just a question, how do we create the drawing? So if the drawing is an artifact completely separated from the model, it becomes difficult. But if it's just a view on the model, it can create very much value. So it's a higher level of abstraction. So when I still worked as an architect, I really liked these A3 colored floor plans showing different aspects. So here's this floor material, here's that floor material, whatever. And I think this is still very valuable.
Okay. Yeah, I kind of agree. Um, Ideally, when you say like the second use case, right? When you create like your drawings are coming from the models,
Mhm.
and they are connected, it makes sense.
Yeah.
But we are assuming that you already have invested time in making a model first and foremost, right? So we have a model. So in the future, I see this, I experience this when you all the information that you need to have in a drawing, you put it in a model instead of actually having the drawing, right? But like you said, the first case, like to completely have completely disconnected drawings from the model, that's really bad. That's really a
Crazy.
waste of time and resources on any project.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, we got two more questions, so let's see, or more. And ISO 9650 CDE workflows, how are managed? Not sure if this fits here, but yeah.
Mhm. Whew. Yeah, I think it's a completely other topic. Um, that's a topic for the BIM execution plan, I
Mm-hmm.
would say.
Mm-hmm. Um, Nikki is asking, is the Excel file available for free? Can we download it?
Yes, you can. Yes. Actually, um, I will I will put it on GitHub in the README. So if you need it, drop me a message and I will share it with you.
Did you hear, Nikki? Just send Simon a message,
Mm.
but he
Because
will also put it in GitHub.
mm, the thing is with Excel, Excel doesn't have the things you need to do a database like thing. That's why, and Google Sheet recently introduced drop-downs lists where you can select multiple uh,
Made that
items.
possible.
And with this, yeah, you basically build a database that link with one to N connections.
Mm,
So, but I'm happy to share this Google Sheet template with everybody.
okay. Uh, okay, Mohammed says that he already forked it. Okay, Mohammed, looks like you got a lot of value from this video. I'm happy to hear that.
Thanks.
Boris is saying SIA 400. I don't know if this helps you in any way.
That's the drawing norm, I
Standard
think.
for. Uh-huh.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I hope at one point we will have a Sierra 400B, a modeling guidelines.
Hmm.
But this is 10 years plus, I think.
Yeah. All right, then do you have anything else you would like to add? Something that you feel we did not cover or you did not say, which could be relevant for our chat?
No, just maybe one more thing.
Hmm.
When you work with BIM, really think about your workflows. And because this is so much knowledge that you create, not only for one project, but across all the projects. And that's how you create value from BIM. And when you have to invent everything again and again in every project,
Yeah.
it's maybe fun, but it kills a company.
I don't think it's fun either. It's just boring and also, yeah,
Yeah.
ineffective, waste of resources. Yeah.
Yes.
All right. Thank you so much, Simon.
Yeah.
Very nice having
Thank
you.
you.
Looking forward to other chats.
Yeah,
Maybe you
thanks
can show us
for the
in the future
invitation. And
sometimes an upgraded how abstract BIM has evolved over the last months since we chat. I think we had a live stream about that like 1 year ago or something like that.
mhm,
So yeah,
great.
thank you so
Thank you,
much.
Petru.
Keep up the good
Bye.
work on LinkedIn.
Thank you. You
Have a
too.
good one. Bye bye.